presented by Fields Auto Group.
What a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at the friendly confines as the Cubs look to even their series with the Reds. We have all the action for you right here on NBC Sports Chicago as Tyler Chatwood faces off against Matt Harvey. First pitch coming your way at 1:20. Well, hello and welcome everyone to Cubs Pregame Live presented by Fields Auto Group along with David DeJesus, Doug Glanville. I am Kelly Kroll, and the Cubs dropped the series opener 3-2 against the Reds, which means, gentlemen, that Cincinnati has taken 7 out of 10 against the Cubs this season. Now, we know they're playing good baseball right now, but they are at the bottom of the NL Central. That doesn't mean big leaguers don't have a lot of pride, but explain their success against the Cubs this year.
Well, I think you have to look at matchups. You know, the way it's been executed, the Reds have pitched exceptionally well against the Cubs in particular. And there's times you come up against teams where you just don't match up and align well, and for some reason, overall, the Reds have just had the Cubs number.
And the Reds have timely hitting. They got a couple grand slams last week when they were at Cincinnati, and it just seems like they get that hit when they need to. Their bottom of the lineup gets the job done. Billy Hamilton has been a problem for the Cubs catchers, pitchers. So right now, it's just one of those things that it just happens. There's teams that just go through streaks like this. When I played here, I saw the Reds a lot. And Chapman seemed like he was in every game closing, so that was a bad time for us. But it's just one of those things. And then it went to the Cubs who played well against them for a while, so you just got to hang with them and just keep going out and focus on the next game.
Something else, I think we were all three sitting watching yesterday's game, feeling like the rhythm, we never really saw these guys like get into sync, whether it was Mike Montgomery or just the ABs. We felt like, now granted, Malley did a great job yesterday afternoon, but let's keep in mind the players would never use this as an excuse, but it has been a bizarre week. We're talking about, 8 of the last 9 have been day games. They've had 2 days off this week. They're getting ready to head out west where they're going to play super late into the night. What does that do to a player's routine? I feel like it would be hard to know when to eat breakfast, when you're supposed to grab lunch, when you're supposed to head to the field. I mean, what's the deal?
You don't take that into consideration at all. It's just, when you know your routine, when you're a Cubby, you know there's 120 games, so you set your routine, and it's just, that's the way it is. Baseball is a game-to-game type of thing. So you lost yesterday. You're not worried about it. It's already gone. You're coming to the park ready and hopefully have a good game, and all sorts about your starting pitcher. Can Tyler Chatwood get strike one today is going to be key for the Cubs.
Yeah, and I know like those travels can be a factor. I know breaking out of spring training as a Cub, you played all these day games, and then all of a sudden the season starts and it's a little bit more fluid as a Chicago Cub with day game. But then you get on a night schedule, and now the West Coast swing coming. So these are factors. I think Joe Madden does a nice job of mixing up the lineups. For example, today they keep guys fresh. That is more important when you have a crazy schedule. And by the way, when you're in 2,000 degrees on the surface of Mercury, which we had last week.
This feels great though, right here, right?
Right, you guys can wear the suit jackets today. You're not just sweating bullets, am I right? Well, it has been a long home stand for the Cubs, which they have certainly enjoyed here playing in front of Wrigley. A lot of health updates to pass along, and for that we bring in Layla Rahimi with the latest from the Cubs clubhouse with our Miller Lite game report.
The update from the field is that Chris Bryant was on it before the game in the 10 o'clock hour this morning here at Wrigley. Not only was he taking batting practice, but he was also at third base fielding some ground balls as well. But the update from Joe Madden is a mixed bag because it sounds like Bryant is going to have a rehab assignment.
I talked to him yesterday on the bench, and he's feeling a lot better. And I just talked to him specifically about take your swings, and then we'll figure it out, and then try to figure out how many you need, how many at-bats you may need to feel comfortable coming back and playing with us. So probably going to go out somewhere and get some at-bats. We did not decide or determine how many, and I want to leave that up to him. Basically, how do you feel? Are you seeing the ball well? Does your shoulder feel good? Those kind of things. It is difficult, and I try to balance it out. And I do think we have 10 or 11 guys with 100 plate appearances or more. That's good. That's good stuff. So depth, it speaks to depth. It speaks to what we're going to be able to do later in the season. Those are the things that you think about. But it's a good thing I can think about those things because the guys are that versatile, and you could move them around a little bit like that.
Also on the field before the game was Darvish. Darvish walked around, jogged a little bit. Joe Maddon said that with Darvish, it is still the status quo, but he was lifting weights in the weight room and received a compliment from the skipper. Maddon said that Darvish was looking strong. So that is the latest on the injury front. Kelly, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Layla. Really appreciate it. And that brings us to the Amita health injury report. As she mentioned, Chris Bryant still not back in the lineup today, stays on the 10-day disabled list with that shoulder soreness. Darvish joins him on that list as he starts over again in his rehab from tricep soreness and an elbow impingement. Ryan Dunsing, keep in mind, also on the DL with shoulder fatigue. And that brings us to our Miller Lite Cubs fan poll. Of course, you don't need a special app to do this. Just hop on NBCSportsChicago.com/vote. And our question this afternoon, we want to know which lingering injury, is it Chris Bryant or Darvish, that concerns you more? Now, guys, we've already heard that Chris Bryant is more than likely going to have a rehab assignment. They want him to get a few more swings in, but the shoulder on the finish of the swing still bothering him just a little bit. And then Darvish starting that rehab assignment up all over again. So if you're voting at home as one of our fans watching this afternoon, what's your vote?
I have to vote Darvish. I'm a little bit more concerned with him. You're talking about your ace pitcher that you brought in, long-term commitment, so it's not just sort of this season, you're looking ahead. And just a pitcher who has this type of stuff dependent on, and this is his arm. This is the golden arm right here. And he's pretty far away from getting back in major league competitive environment. So I'd say that's my top concern.
I would go Darvish, but I would go his mental toughness. He's been through some up and downs, and this season has been a tough grind for him. Can he mentally stay strong through this? Because this Chicago city is one of the toughest cities in the U.S. to play baseball. They're going to be on you. They love you when you're doing good, but they will be on you when you're struggling a little bit. So can he mentally withstand that and get back to himself on the mound?
I'm with you guys. I think Darvish, in the sense that here's a guy who's already gone through Tommy John surgery, whereas we're looking at Chris Bryant as a young player who's never really dealt with injury, and you want to believe that the health is still there. This is just a little minor setback, a little bump in the road, and as he strengthens this, who knows, maybe 3 long years for Chris Bryant. This is what he needs, a little bit of rest now to be at his best here in another month or so, and I don't think it'll last that long, but I'm just saying if it were, I still feel like Chris Bryant at this point, this stuff happens to players, and we're seeing it with him, but Darvish is another whole nother ball game that I think there's some mental hurdles for him as well as physical, so that'll be my vote as most concerning, but please keep voting all game long. We will be updating this throughout, and we will have the results on the post-game show in just a bit. Let's take a look at today's Bona Fide pitching matchup. Of course, Tyler Chatwood going for the Cubs today. He's coming off a rather rough outing last Saturday. He gave up 7 earned runs to the Twins. His earned run average now at 4.5. We'll get back to Tyler shortly. Matt Harvey taking the hill for the Reds, 4-5 with a 4.91 ERA this season. But all 4 of those wins have come with the Reds, and he owns a much better 3.86 ERA with Cincinnati. So has the Dark Knight reestablished himself? How does the second movie go? Is he rising as a Red Knight? Guys, what do we think?
I think so. He's really changed the thought of people he's changed the thought that people had of him. He was a guy that in New York came out with so much success and then hit just a railroad track and really didn't progress the way they thought he was going to. But coming over to the Reds, everything slowed down for him. He's establishing his fastball more and mixing in the slider. He's pretty much a 2-pitch pitcher now. So he's a guy that's really working on location. When he's on location with that 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball, he's pretty tough to hit.
Yeah, they had to build him back up. Sort of get away from some of the things that were distractions. New York's a tough town. Cincinnati a little more quiet, right? Keep it low-key in Dark Knight. But his stuff was there, but he also battled some injuries. So now he's had a rebirth, sort of what Darvish Harvey will have to go through, right? Get back and start over in some respect. And maybe he'll find that excellence that he had and been known for.
Nice.
Well, we've seen a lot of lefties in the lineup today. That's what Joe Bannon's going with. We'll see Caratini behind the plate, which we'll mention here in a little bit when we show you the Cubs lineup. But how about Tyler Chatwood? I mean, this is a guy who's had one start since coming back from the paternity leave. It wasn't great for Tyler all season long. He says he's been battling himself, but feels like he is making strides in the right direction. Still 32 walks in 30 and a third innings over that span. What do you guys still feel like you need to see from Tyler to know that this is trending in the right direction?
Well, it's consistency. You know, obviously throwing strikes. I mean, that is the challenge, or at least hitting the target in a consistent way. He's really struggled with the command and the walks. The base runners are finally starting to catch up.
Yeah.
His ERA was under 4 for a while, and now it's starting to creep into the high 4s because the defense has kind of bailed him out and then sort of making the big pitch when he needed to. That kind of fell off the rails the last outing. So there's concerns about him getting to that consistently and throwing strikes.
And it's hard with him in the first inning. He's already throwing tough pitches, and you're only getting 5 innings out of him. Then you're putting strain on the bullpen. So right now, I would love to see him just settle down, start throwing strikes right away. If you can, attack the zone with that fastball, because his other stuff is electric if he can get 0-1. But once he's 1-0, 2-0, his stuff is not as good. He has to come over the plate, and the hitters just can hit 95-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Well, certainly Madden would love to see him go deeper in the ballgame. I know he wants that out of himself. However, one of the good things, they got a few arms back there in the bullpen that are fresh. We got to see C.J. Edwards, who returned from the disabled list yesterday, looked very sharp. I had a chance to talk to Edwards this morning. He said he did have a little bit of nerves getting out there. He says, believe it or not, you know it's your job and you've done it, but anytime you're coming back, you want to go out there and have a good outing. I know that sounds obvious, but he says it was good to go out there. In other words, throw, one ball, he said, but we saw him throw 4 fastballs, all of 95 plus.
Yeah, and I think you're speaking to what David is talking about that mental side. When you go on a rehab assignment or you get injured, that doubt just creeps right in. You have a little bit of doubt, like, am I going to come back healthy? So anytime you can put the stamp of validation that you've come back at the big league level, you threw 95 plus 4 fastballs right by the major league hitters, then you start calming down again. So you get nervous because you're just uncertain about your health, and you need to pass some tests to convince yourself you can sustain.
Yeah, and I think he felt like he did that. What did you think?
And it's funny because this guy's pitching the World Series, big games.
Right.
But whenever you come back,
when he said that.
it's always when you come back, you're still like wondering, am I going to be that guy again after struggling?
Cubs Pregame Live is presented by Fields Auto Group. Fields matters because you matter. See Fields first. FieldsAuto.com.
Auto dealers tend to use the same phrases and sales event names. Maybe they don't have a lot to talk about, but we do. We've never followed the crowd. We've always done what is best for our customers. That includes the Real Deal sales event.
And now get 0% APR financing for up to 72 months on a 2018 Infiniti Q50 and Infiniti Glencoe.
Car washes, a robust loaner fleet, cafes, world-class service, and the best buying experience. All at no extra charge. What do you think of all of this?
I love it.
I'm attorney Howard Aiken with Cubs superstar Harvey Baez.
Making it look easy on the field takes a hard work. If you need legal help, call Howard.
It's hard to make law as exciting as Harvey makes playing second base, but if you need help with an injury case, call me.
312-6
I like it sweet.
I like it hot.
Red gravy.
Baptize it.
Make it cheesy.
Make it hurt.
North side.
South side.
There's one thing
both sides agree on.
Bona beef.
Bona, the original and most flavorful Italian beef.
It's the Great American Sale going on now at American Sale. Save up to 50% on swimming pools, patio sets, and more. And pay no interest for up to 5 years. Choose from thousands of pools in stock starting at only $48 a month installed. And American Sale has the area's largest selection of patio furniture in stock. Turn your backyard into your everyday summer getaway. Price, selection, and fun. It's all here. But hurry, this event ends soon. 9 Chicagoland locations. American Sale. Bring the fun home.
Free installation?
That's right, free installation on all windows, siding, and doors.
Now that's hot.
It's Feldco's hottest sale of the year. Free installation.
Free installation ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
You're looking for a spot to enjoy the game today. Our Miller Lite bar of the game is Aurelio's Pizza at 3801 North Clark Street. So get out there, enjoy the game at Aurelio's. That, of course, if you can't get yourself to Wrigley, because it is a picture-perfect day here at the Friendly Confines, and the Cubs looking to get back in the win column after a 3-2 loss yesterday. They're now 2.5 games back of the Brewers in the NL Central, and we welcome you in here to Cubs Pregame Live, presented by Fields Auto Group. I think we had a little bit of a cable pull. These guys back here are trying to get the best of our show today, but we are not going away. The show
Dark
must go
night.
on.
I knew it.
Dark night.
Pulling cables.
That's right. Let's take a look at the Cubs lineup this afternoon. We're seeing a few different bodies on the field this afternoon, and you've got Ben Zobrist leading things off in right field. It'll be Jason Hayward getting the start in center field. Javi Baez at second base. Anthony Rizzo batting cleanup and playing first. Ian Happ will be at third base. He's hitting 500 on this homestand, guys, as well as Kyle Schwarber in left, who's 6 for 14 basically with a couple of homers. Victor Caratini getting the start behind the dish. Addison Russell at short, and Tyler Chatwood on the mound. And when I say that, you know, Kyle Schwarber and Ian Happ and all these guys are hitting about 500, that's because this lineup has done some serious damage in this homestand. I know I showed you guys a couple of numbers. There's 4 or 5 guys here that, I mean, really contributions, but heat up you want to see, right, heading into the All-Star break?
Yeah, I mean, these guys have swung the bat exceptionally well. And as you mentioned, with that kind of a regular schedule, their bats have stayed true. And the Cincinnati Reds, even though they've had their number, they still rode the wave of interleague play coming in, with Minnesota and Detroit taking a pounding by the Cubs. So you recognize that a lot of guys are heating up. This is the offense we were looking for, right?
Yeah.
Top to bottom, and a lot of depth behind that offense.
And I like the solid approach that they're having. Each and every guy is having team at bats. They're not trying to do too much. I would love to see the ball start flying out a little bit more. With the wind blowing in, it's tough right now. But they're having good team at bats. They're relying on each other, and they're a unit right now. This lineup is 9 guys long, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah, here's a look at some of those numbers. 3 guys hitting over 400 in their last 7 games. Almora, Contreras, Rizzo, all 3 with an OPS over 1 as well. Plenty of extra base hits to go around, and look at Addison Russell with his 10 runs driven in. So pretty impressive. Let's also take a look while we can here at Jim Riggleman, who stacks his Reds up today against Tyler Chatwood. Scott Schebler in right, Tucker Barnhart catching behind the dish, Joey Votto at first, Scooter Gennett at second base, Eugenio Suarez at third, Jesse Winker at left, Jose Peraza at short, the starting pitcher Matt Harvey hitting 8th, and Billy Hamilton in 9th in center field. Well, speaking of Joey Votto, he's already had an interesting day getting himself here to Wrigley. So I hope that we have this video working. Like I said, we've had some technical difficulties, but Joey Votto walking to the field and is stopped by one of the security guards here, doing his job, right? Doing his job. I'm guessing Votto didn't have his wallet with him or his ID or whatever. Luckily, there's a number of fans who recognize it and are willing to speak up and say, this is Joey Votto, this is an MVP right here. But he wasn't going to be let into the field. And hey, maybe the Cubs had something going there, right? I mean, it'd be great if Joey wasn't playing for the Cubs' sake anyway this afternoon. But do you guys remember anything like this happening to a teammate of yours or you yourself?
Well, first I love the fact that the alarm went off on the machine that he walked through. It's like, where you going, dude? I know we had IDs. Certainly, we had a lot of times where you get questioned. You don't want to drop the name. You don't want to be like, oh, you know who I am, and be all ridiculous. So you're trying to be cool, hoping someone else like one of your baseball cards behind you. But it definitely happened for sure.
But Votto, what are you doing coming to the park with nothing? He had absolutely nothing on him, no keys. And why is that going off? He has something, maybe some steel shoes on, steel tip shoes or something. But Votto, he's awesome. He's that type of guy. He's a great teammate, and it seems like he's opening himself up to the fans as well. So it's great to see the evolution of Joey Votto right now.
And he has a lot of fun with this. We've seen some of his interactions with fans, right?
Yeah.
And you guys know him from having bumped into him. I mean, he's pretty good at playing out these situations, it seems like.
Yeah, well, you always wonder, how people carry those, giant headshots? And it's like they seem to carry them in their wallet. Like, what are these guys? And they're like, I don't carry these things around. I have a Sharpie. So, Votto now knows, just in case.
He's going to get there right there.
Yep, might have some challenge.
And I remember Joey Votto, when I get to first base, if I got on by base, he'd be like, hey, man, you're swinging the bat good. Can you give me a little tip? And I'm thinking right now, Joey Votto, you do not want to hear from me about hitting. I should be asking you about everything, but it's hilarious. And he was so quiet early on in his career. Now he's opening up. You're seeing the true nature of him, and it's great to see, because this guy needs to be known, needs to be found out, because he's a gem in the game.
Well, it's okay if security wants to hold him out again tomorrow.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep him out.
Yeah.
Well, let's take another quick timeout here on Cubs Pregame Live, presented by Fields Auto Group. We have much more coming. We've got these guys' keys to the game, our key performer, and there's still plenty of time to give Feldco a call. Remember, 866-4FELDCO.
Auto dealers tend to use the same phrases and sales event names. Maybe they don't have a lot to talk about, but we do. We've never followed the crowd. We've always done what is best for our customers. That includes the Real Deal sales event.
And now get 0% APR financing for up to 72 months on a 2018 Infiniti Q50 and Infiniti Glencoe.
Car washes, a robust loaner fleet, cafes, world-class service, and the best buying experience. All at no extra charge. What do you think of all of this?
I love it.
Better ingredients, better pizza isn't just a slogan at Papa John's. It's a job. So you get a better pizza.
Get any pan pizza and a 2-liter for only $12. Use promo code ChicagoPan at papajohns.com.
Papa John's.
Here's how Old Dominion puts together a winning performance. It takes precision, like how we're #1 in claims prevention. It takes hustle, like our over 99% on-time rate. And it takes consistently going the distance to earn our fans' loyalty. That's why we're #1 in customer satisfaction. Old Dominion, official freight carrier of Major League Baseball.
I like it sweet.
I like it hot.
Red gravy.
Baptize it.
Make it cheesy.
Make it hurt.
North side.
South side.
There's one thing
both sides agree on. Bona beef.
Bona, the original and most flavorful Italian beef.
Here's one good reason to experience the new Buick. Here's another. And another. And another. And another. And, well, you get the idea. Experience one of the freshest lineups in the industry. Experience the new Buick. Now pay no interest for 72 months on most 2018 Buick Enclave models. One of Buick's 3 luxury SUVs.
Provider for Wrigley Field and Gallagher Way fans are able to access free Wi-Fi around Wrigley Field, so save your data and connect now. Xfinity, the exclusive Wi-Fi provider of Wrigley Field and the Chicago Cubs. And we are back here on Cubs Pregame Live, presented by Fields Auto Group. We've got the Cubs and the Reds Game 2 coming your way at the top of the hour. We'll hand it over to Lynn and JD, who will take things away at first pitch 1:20. Well, guys, it is about that time to get your keys to get today's game, the Fields Auto keys to the game. Let's get that out first. I'm still, getting my stuff pulled together here. I'm not in the rhythm yet. So what you got, Marvin Dog?
Well, my key is early sun on the dark night, and sun is in that stuff right behind us.
I like it.
You got to get to this guy early. Loves the fastball, so you jump on him, take that fastball away, cut into the confidence where he has to rely on secondary pitches, and obviously the offense has been so explosive. They've been able to manufacture runs and hit the ball out of the ballpark. So I think that early pressure, getting in the bullpen, because the Red starters have absolutely dominated the Cubs. So we got to mix it up here and get him out early.
Yeah, and mine starts at the top. With Contreras and Almora out, 2 of the Cubs' hottest hitters, you're going to rely on Baez and Hayward, who are hitting 400 over Matt Harvey. And Rizzo's been hot too. So with Chatwood inconsistent early on, it'd be good to just score runs right away, give him some breathing room, and let him pitch with a lead rather than always from behind.
Absolutely. We saw the comeback Cubs fall a little short for the first time. I mean, 6 wins in a row where they had come from behind, but hey, maybe they could start a new trend where they get out in front early, right? And ride the lead. That would work.
They have a great pen, so let's go that way. Let's try that out for a little bit. All right.
Well, Doug, you mentioned getting to Harvey early, and one of the things we know is that their bullpen, their closer, is down today. So that's certainly another positive for the Cubs.
Yeah, he threw a lot of pitches in the first game, and that's sometimes it's sort of the long-term dividends, right? It may not pay right away in the game. You might not get to him, but they really made him work. He had to get 5 outs. So he's probably out today, and now that's an advantage, certainly, because he's a top-flight closer.
And you have Morrow. The Cubs bullpen is set right now. Anthony Bass has been throwing really well. Fresh Morrow back there. C.J. Edwards can pitch. He only faced 1 batter yesterday, so it would be important for them to get an early lead. Then they can get to that bullpen, and that's where they're at their best.
Okay, well, as we take a look at the weather, we've got the wind blowing a little bit sideways today, so not straight out, not like they had it 2 days ago where we just saw balls flying. So could be similar to what we saw yesterday from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah, yesterday, after the first couple innings, it could have been 5 or 6 to 4. So one of those games, But we'll see. We'll see how it works. Pitcher's got to keep the ball down, and this is definitely it's advantage to the pitchers right now.
Yeah, and they get the running game going. If you can't hit it out of the ballpark, they have enough speed and excitement. Go first to third. Use it, take advantage, because it might not go out the park.
All right, well, the 3 of us will see you after the game here, so be sure and join us on Cubs Postgame Live. Enjoy the game, everyone.
A full house is on hand. Bright sunshine, it's warm. Right now, it's a perfect day to play.
Here comes the 3-2. Exactly what you ordered.
It's a high fly ball deep right center field. That ball is off the wall. Cubs are on the board. Drill toward left center. Almora makes a leaping grab.
Deep left center. Game over. Cubs win.
What do you call a great beer with more taste, only 96 calories, and 3.2 carbs? We call it Miller Lite. What are you holding? Miller Lite. Hold true.
It's not just any internet. It's the fastest internet that can now include mobile. You can get up to 5 mobile lines, and now you're Dad of the Year internet. Nice job. It's internet from Xfinity that makes your life simple, easy, awesome.
See how you can save when you add Xfinity Mobile to your internet. Get started with Xfinity Internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months. Click, call, or visit a store today.
Mom and Dad got a new car with the extra third row seats. They think it's theirs, but it's not theirs. It's mine. Mine.
The new RX 350L with 3 rows for 7 passengers.
Are you excited about your baby sister coming?
Experience space for the unexpected with the Lexus RXL, part of the RX family.
Lease the 2018 RX 350L all-wheel drive for $489 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
DirecTV gives you more for your thing. If you've been waiting for a sign to quit cable, then here's some signs.
It came from the toaster.
Quit cable. Take a look at that. Now you can quit cable.
Switch to DirecTV and now get a $100 reward card. More for your quitting cable thing. That's our thing. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Another gorgeous day here at Wrigley Field, a little on the cool side, but the sun is shining and the wind is blowing in off the lake. It's a Saturday matinee. The Cubs host the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch in about 20 minutes. The Cubs had their 6-game winning streak come to an end on Friday. Great to have you with us today. Jim DeShays and Len Casper with you. The Cubs have been playing some really good baseball here as of late, but over the last couple of months, the one team they haven't been able to beat is the Reds.
Well, and the Cubs don't stand alone. The Reds have been playing very good baseball over the last 3 weeks, best record in the National League. But we take a look at the breakdown. Cubs within the division this year, a team they normally beat up on the Reds has had their number. Cubs just 3-7 against Cincinnati. And as you look at the breakdown, you find the Cubs 19-19 within the division. There's a lot of different ways you can win a championship, but doing a lot of damage within your own division obviously is a good way to do it. Last year they were 46-30 in the Central. 2016 they were 50-25 within their own division.
Yeah, and really that'll tell the tale. The unbalanced schedule, you play teams 19 times. Milwaukee's actually a game under against the division, and the Cubs have fared well head-to-head versus the Brewers.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting when we get into the second half. Right after the break, I think we have 8 games against the Cardinals, the first 12. They've actually been the best team within the division in the Central. The Brewers aren't going anywhere. They're playing very good baseball right now. This is going to be a fun race.
A good matchup of stuff today. Right-handers on the mound. Matt Harvey for the Reds, who's been in a really good stretch. Tyler Chatwood will go for the Cubs.
Yeah, Chatwood obviously still trying to work through some issues. Last time out, a no decision against the Twins. Got a lot of run support. 5 innings, 7 hits. Normally doesn't give up that many hits. He allowed 3 walks. They all came around to score. A couple big innings, his undoing. And obviously, if the Cubs are going to do some damage in the second half, they're going to need Chatwood to step up. Matt Harvey, an interesting case. He's one of those real estate deals. The Reds acquired him to flip him, and they may get a pretty good prospect in return because he's really turned a corner of late, including his start against the Cubs back on the 21st of June, 6 innings, 2 earned runs.
So Harvey has pitched pretty well against the Cubs, particularly that NLCS opener back in 2015 with the Mets. Wind blowing in again today, and the pitchers yesterday seemed to take advantage of that.
Yeah, it's a good day to be aggressive. Again, I don't think when we talk about Tyler Chatwood, his control issues aren't so much about trying to pitch around hitters and being defensive. It's just the inability to locate the fastball as much as he would like. So whether the wind's blowing in, blowing out, I don't think it affects his game too much. But this is certainly a day where you can afford to challenge the big part of the strike zone.
One other quick roster note, Chris Bryant has not been activated, and it's pretty likely he will end up going out on a rehab assignment as he comes back from the left shoulder injury. And when we come back, Layla Rahimi and Doug Glanville will talk about up the middle. That's where you win championships. The Cubs are very strong in the middle. Cubs baseball on NBC Sports Chicago continues.
installation?
That's right. Free installation on all windows, siding, and doors.
Now that's hot.
It's Feldco's hottest sale of the year. Free installation.
Free installation ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Say goodbye to the one-size-fits-all Family Unlimited plan. Starting now, everyone gets the plan they want without paying for things they don't want. Mom gets the unlimited she needs, Dad gets the unlimited he needs, the kids get the unlimited they need. It's big news from Verizon.
Wow. All this for us.
Yeah, and every other family in America. I think the Kowalskis are next.
One family, different unlimited plans, starting at $40 per line. Switch now and get $300 off our best phones, all on the network you deserve.
Go into the
and now for the rings.
And we're gonna get married. Go into the chapel and we're...
I'm a 4-year-old ring bearer with a bad habit of swallowing stuff. I still won't eat my broccoli, though. And if you don't have the right coverage, you could be paying for that pricey love band yourself. So get an Allstate agent and be better protected from mayhem like me. Can a ring bearer get a snack around here?
From director Steven Spielberg comes a world where you can do anything.
You can climb Mount Everest with Batman.
And be anyone.
Iron Giant. Lex Luthor.
Chucky.
Kong.
Experience an adventure of a lifetime. Ready Player One.
Be the first to buy now and watch anytime, anywhere on your favorite screens with DirecTV Cinema. Movies start at channel 125.
30 seconds of awesome.
Presented by Thomas Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
Awesome. Awesome. Totally awesome.
And for a totally awesome car and truck buying experience, head to Thomas Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Highland.
Enjoy upfront pricing, a 3-day exchange policy, and a lifetime loyalty program.
Awesome. Plus, Thomas Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram has commission-free salespeople and a no-pressure environment.
Find your perfect vehicle at Thomas Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Highland and online at thomascdj.com. Awesome.
We are taking you up to first pitch of Game 2 of this series between the Reds and the Cubs. And a calmer lake today. Layla Rahimi and Doug Glanville now join you from the field here at Wrigley. And as the Cubs get ready to try to take a game in this series against the Reds, we take a look at their strength up the middle, both offensively and defensively. Doug, it's like a mini baseball night in Chicago with us two here on the field. But tell me about what you like about that part of the diamond, what the Cubs are doing.
Well, we always talk about the anchor or the backbone of a team defensively up the middle, but their up the middle is on two sides of the ball. Wilson Contreras, as the anchor of the battery, has shown the power game, absolutely dominating this homestand, spraying the ball around, becoming a force. But we know about his aggressive arm, the way he uses it as a weapon. No runner is comfortable with Wilson Contreras behind the plate. He's willing to get in front and make the blocks, make the tough plays, and he will throw the ball all over. Now look at our center fielder, Albert Almora Jr., really emerging in the race of the batting title at this point, and now as he's getting that opportunity to play more consistently, he is thriving. Offense has shown signs of power, especially on this homestand, and we know about the fantastic defense. This is a Gold Glove candidate. He is all over the field. He is excellent going back with the wall. He's excellent coming in. He understands how to throw and make the reads. This guy is relentless in the field, defensive excellence. And then you got to go to Javier Baez, right? The man who's the catalyst on both sides of the ball, hitting the ball all over the place right now, an RBI machine. And no matter where you put this guy, he is electrifying on the bases, in the field, the defense. His awareness and sixth sense for baseball is something that's legendary. You look at this play here, I counted that as 212 miles an hour. I mean, look at that arm. I mean, all over the place. So Baez is a guy that sprays the ball around offensively and defensively. But look at the numbers. Baez, 61 RBI, second in the NL, also stealing bases with power. Contreras, hot this month. The caught stealing is above average pickoffs. He throws the ball all over as a weapon itself, and Almora Jr. is in the race, tied for first in the NL in batting average. This guy could win a batting title this year, and the 5 defensive run saves is excellent. It's tied with Mike Trout in baseball, and by the way, he has 175 less innings, so that's a compiling stat, so that shows his aptitude out there. So up the middle, incredible backbone to this team and really the force that's going to keep them stable the rest of the year.
And Baez already, as we are getting ready for the first half of the season to come to a close, is receiving discussion for a possible MVP candidate nod. That is how strong he is. But he's not the only one. When we mention versatility, what about Addison Russell? He is at short today, and Ben Zobrist is in right field.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. They don't lose a lot. They need to give a guy a day off. They need someone to get a break. They need to move a matchup around. They have Zobrist and Russell right there to fill in. Obviously, Russell, the everyday shortstop. I mean, so many different weapons up the middle, and that is the strength of this team.
Now, as for the Reds, boy, have they gone through a regeneration process. Now they're managed by Jim Riggleman, and previously, earlier in the season, they were managed, of course, by Brian Price. They fired Price when they were only 3-15. Now with Riggleman, 36-34. That's impressive stuff.
Yeah.
Now let's take a break and listen to our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, standing with the team today are U.S. Army Major General Brian Winsky and U.S. Navy World War II veteran and Pearl Harbor survivor, Radioman First Class Henry Lamar Hartman, celebrating his 95th birthday. The Cubs thank you, along with all of our current and former servicemen and women, for their service to our great country. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please remain standing and join John Vincent as he honors America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? And the home of the brave.
Hey, that's your laugh.
Booyah. That's my booyah. Booyah.
Maybe that was supposed to be your ticket.
Why let someone else scratch your ticket? Pick up your instant ticket and play today.
To be in the Express, you gotta be able to ride. And I mean really ride.
Jack, wait.
Ma,
I ain't no boy no more.
You don't know what's out there. It's dangerous.
This is something I have to do, Mom.
But the job only calls to a man who has what it takes.
You take this, and you go west as fast as you can.
Think we'll see him again, Mom?
I reckon.
How can you be so sure?
Because west is that way.
When a customer walks in here, you treat them like family. Because it's not a car, it's Melanie. And she's a single mom, and she's got 2 kids, and she puts her trust in me to fix her car. That's what it's all about. It's taking care of the customer. And there's only one way to do the job. It's the right way. My name is Alex, and I'm proud to keep your car running newer, longer.
Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
The 4th of July sale at Mattress Firm has been extended through Tuesday. Pay as little as $9 a month with 0% interest for 72 months. And get a free adjustable base with a qualifying mattress purchase. Don't wait. This deal ends Tuesday. Your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm.
It's not just a coaster, you know. It's an invitation.
Jim Beam on the rocks.
The bourbon that's been making history since 1795 invites you to make some of your own.
Our customers are people who work hard for their money. So we do everything we can to make their money work hard for them. At Meijer, we see it as a simple matter of respect. That's why for 80 years now, low prices have been built into the way we do business. Because the most important thing we can earn is the right to shake someone's hand and look them in the eye. Come see for yourself.
Hey, that's your laugh.
Booyah. That's my booyah. Booyah.
Maybe that was supposed to be your ticket.
Why let someone else scratch your ticket? Pick up your instant ticket and play today.
It is a beautiful day for baseball here in Chicago as the Reds are playing the Cubs. We're just moments away from first pitch here on NBC Sports Chicago. Once again, down at field level, Layla Rahimi joined by Doug Glanville. And even though it's a new series, I think we can still talk about the beautiful steal by Harvey Baez of home on Wednesday. And respectively, there are 2 decent base stealers on these 2 teams in Billy Hamilton and Harvey Baez. Hamilton with 16, Harvey with 15. But this is something that we don't see a lot of anymore, not just stealing home, but stealing bases effectively in Major League Baseball. In fact, the numbers are down. How down, you ask? Let's take a look at the number of stolen bases over the last 3 years. Here's this, Billy Hamilton getting picked off. And Doug, you thought that was pretty good because, hey, he was on base 4 times in the first game of the series yesterday.
Right, you could see how the running game, I mean, Baez here making an aggressive play, read the pitcher knowing he was slow to first base, but the aptitude has changed a lot, the points of emphasis, as you pointed out.
Yeah, and we take a look at the actual stolen base numbers, down over the last several seasons, but remarkably down from even 2016 to now. Joe Madden said he loves it, but he thinks it's 80% analytics is what causes this number to just decrease like it is.
Yeah, the analytics are absolutely part of it because you decide it's a low percentage play. You decide it's a low, and there's a lot of efforts now to neutralize the running game, the speed game. We saw this with Anthony Rizzo. He anticipated Hamilton about to run. He communicated to Russell, kind of cheated up, and then cut the angle off and threw. And of course, Zobrist was able to get in line there. So look at him cheating in there. That's to create the angle, because as a base runner, your job, you're going to be to try to get the ball hit you in the back because you know you're out. So you run and change the angle. Rizzo anticipated it. The other factor, I was talking to Theo Epstein before the game, is the instant replay. Now when you slide into second, they're going to go to the video, and if you keep the tag on the guy, it's hard to hold the base. So now it's a big difference between back when I played, where you can be close, and now it's difficult to hold the base because they're going to keep tagging you.
Technology ruins everything in a poker game, doesn't it? We've got first pitch coming up. Len and JD next on NBC Sports Chicago.
I am the DQ Jurassic Chomp Blizzard. Nothing rivals my massive peanut butter bites. And you can only find me at DQ, so hurry in. Run! Because I'm not fast food, I am fan food.
When my hot water heater failed, she was pregnant,
in-laws were coming, a little bit of water, it rocked our world.
I had no idea the amount of damage that water could do.
We called USAA, and they greeted me as they always do. Sergeant Baker, how are you? They were on it. It was unbelievable. Having insurance is something everyone needs, but having USAA, that's a privilege. We're the Bakers, and we're USAA members for life.
USAA. Get your insurance quote today.
This year, Binny's Beverage Depot is celebrating its 70th anniversary.
Chicago family owned since 1948.
Their mission never gets old, helping you celebrate the best times of your life.
Toyota's Star Spangled Sales Event is here. Enjoy patriotic deals right now on your favorite Toyota models. Choose from the adventurous RAV4, the bold Camry, the family-friendly Highlander, the rugged Tacoma, and the fun Corolla. Don't wait. The Star Spangled Sales Event won't be around forever, and neither will these exceptional deals. Get incredible cash savings on 17 of your favorite Toyota models, like up to $2,000 customer cash on Corolla. Toyota, let's go places.
A full house is on hand. Bright sunshine. It's warm. Right now, it's a perfect day to play.
Here comes the 3-2. Exactly what you ordered.
It's a high fly ball deep right center field. That ball is off the wall. Cubs are on the board. Drill toward left center. Elmora makes a leaping grab.
Deep left center. Game over. Cubs win. We are ready for baseball. The Reds and the Cubs. Game 2. Tyler Chatwood against Scott Schebler. We'll get you the rest of the Reds lineup here in a second. Cincinnati with a 3-2 win on Friday. First pitch of the ball game is bounced for ball 1.
Well, not a good start with the control issues that Tyler has had.
Outside for ball 2. Cubs battery today. Chatwood and Caratini. Wilson Contreras on the bench to start this one. There's a strike. It's 2-1. 72 degrees. Wind coming in off the lake. 9 miles an hour. Cubs overshift to the right against Schebler, who cuts and misses.
Maybe changeup, maybe cutter. But effective had Schebler out in front. And Tyler made his first start of the year against the Reds in Cincinnati, and it was a good one. He got beat 1-0, but 6 innings, a 1-run ball. Pitched around 6 walks in that ball game.
Got him on the cutter. Good comeback for Chatwood to start the game. The rest of the Reds Southwest starting lineup. Tucker Barnhart coming up, switch hitting catcher. Then it gets really tough. Votto, Jeanette, Suarez. Winker's been real hot. So has Jose Peraza. The pitcher Matt Harvey and Billy Hamilton, who had 3 hits in the game yesterday. Barnhart with his first action in the series. First pitch curveball. Strike 1.
Tyler Chatwood is our Lexus Experience Amazing starting pitcher. You peruse the numbers. 15 starts, 3-5, 4.54 the ERA. Less than 5 innings per start, and that's been the big issue. Real good curveballs, and that's a plus pitch for him. He doesn't throw it a lot. I think it's been such a battle for him to command his fastball. He's perhaps stayed away from his curveball, but when all systems are go, everything's clicking. He's got plus stuff.
Bounce in the left. Happ was playing well off the line, and Barnhart is aboard.
Let's take a look at the Cubs defensively this afternoon behind Tyler Chatwood. We'll find Kyle Schwarber in left. Jason Hayward gets to start in center today. Ben Zobrist plays right. Ian Happ making his 5th start at third base. Russell and Baez up the middle. Rizzo at first. Victor Caratini, start number 9 for him behind the plate.
There are your umpires. Adrian Johnson back of the plate on the bases. Trip Gibson, the crew chief Brian Gorman, and Mike Malinsky. Runner at first, 1 out. Joey Votto takes inside on a fastball at 93. Votto, the active leader in hits by an opponent at Wrigley Field with 103.
Choke up mode here.
And a fly ball to left. Schwarber's back. He's on the track and he makes a catch right in the well. We're out number 2. That ball had a lot of carry. And Schwarber was able to make the play.
Dare we say all's well that ends well in the well. A bit of a drift, a bit of a battle, but ultimately Schwarber hauls it in for out number 2. It's breezy here today, but perhaps not going to be as much of a factor in knocking the ball down as it was yesterday. Scooter Gennett, this guy right here, his first at bat yesterday, pumped one to left. But just about any other day would have flown out of here, but not yesterday.
Yeah, the wind more out of the north on Friday, so a lot of balls out toward left and left center were knocked down. And it's kind of coming in from right center currently.
East southeast breeze blowing right to left. Six will swing from the left side for the Reds today against Chatwood, and understandably Riggleman would load up his lineup that way. They're batting .291 against Tyler, whereas right-handed batters are hitting just a .159.
A 1-0 pitch. Gennett missed it. Just ahead of Albert Almora for the batting average lead in the National League at .328.
Year one of a 3-year deal for Tyler, signed this offseason. Lifetime 43 and 51. Started with the Angels, briefly there, traded along to the Rockies.
Here comes his 2-1. It's low. Trying to beat the Reds for the first time in his career. Pitched well against them early this season, but took the loss. And that was his Cubs debut. 6 innings, 1 run allowed. Cubs lost that game 1-0. Runner takes off, base hit right field. Barnhart now will head to third. And that'll bring up Eugenio Suarez.
That continues his hot hitting, and Barnhart easily makes it into third base for Suarez.
Reds have been formidable. 17-6 over their last 23 games, outscoring their opponents by 46 runs during this stretch. They got off to a dismal start. They lost 18 of their first 21. All but 3 of those games managed by Brian Price, who was let go. And under Jim Riggleman, they had been a winning ball club.
Briggs keeps this up, he'll be manager of the year in the National League.
So they got swept in St. Louis right after he took over. If you take away those 3 games, they're 36 and 31 with him as the interim manager. 36 and 34 under Riggleman.
Yeah, and I think the pitching, the bullpen really struggled early for the Reds, and since the end of April, the bullpen has been good, and the starters of late have really turned a corner, and that was always the thinking in Cincinnati with so many young arms. If they started to figure it out, they would become a lot tougher to beat. Got a good lineup.
Well, the last month plus, the Cubs are 0-5 against the Reds. They're 24-10 against everybody else. So the Cubs have played their best baseball of the season. But they have been unable to figure out the Reds to this point. 3-7 on the year, and have dropped the last 5. One, 2 to Suarez is low. There are 2 parts to the Chatwood story this season. One is effectiveness, and just, for the most part, some of these high walk games he's had, the results have been much better than you would think. The problem is, however, the pitch counts have knocked him out of so many starts early, as you mentioned.
Averaging less than 5 innings per start. Put a heavy load on the bullpen.
Pulled to left, foul, just foul. That would have scored one, maybe 2.
The reason why he's been effective, it's been effectively wild to the nth. Because a lot of those games where he's walked a bunch of people, he hasn't given up many hits at all, and very little damage. They don't slug much against them, especially right-handed hitters.
Lee Hatcher was trying to coax it fair, but it wasn't meant to be. So 2-2 on Suarez. Inside, it's full.
The whole key for Tyler, and I think maybe the cutter, just to if you throw strike 1 more often, and he's dead last in the league in first strike percentage. If you throw first strikes more often, then guys are going to start to get a little more inclined to swing and maybe expand the zone and go out of the zone. And until you prove to major league hitters that you can throw strike 1, they're going to be patient, and the pitch count's going to be an issue.
And there's his first walk to load the bases, and it'll bring up Jesse Winker, and Jim Hickey will make an early visit.
Tyler, last time out against the Twins, was working with extended rest due to the birth of his son. The previous start was on the 19th here against the Dodgers. And he went 11 days until his next start against the Twins. The Dodger game was one of those ones that we've talked about. High walks, but low runs. 5 innings, just 2 hits. He walked 5 and got out of some damage or crisis situations, allowed just 1 run. The 1 run he allowed was a leadoff home run. It's another thing he's done effectively. Keep the ball in the ballpark. Just 5 home runs allowed this year.
The Reds, with their 2 hits here in the first, have 11 so far in the series, and they've all been singles. They were able to eke out a 3-2 win yesterday. And it's Winker with the bases loaded, and that ball gets away, and the Reds get the first run. Barnhart scores on a wild pitch.
He snapped off a couple really good curveballs earlier in the inning, and that may have been the message delivered by Hickey. Hey, don't forget about your breaking pitch. But unfortunately, he spikes that one. When it hits the dirt, the spin kicks it back the other way. That becomes a very difficult ball to block. That's what he features: fastball, slider, which is really more of a cutter, a curveball, and a changeup.
So second and third, and another one gets by. 2-0. Jeanette scores. Tried to spin another one in almost the same spot.
Yeah, and normally, the thinking is catcher should be able to block curveballs in the dirt. When you call for a breaking pitch, you're anticipating down, unlike a 95-mile-an-hour heater that's spiked. But that one is so far out in front of home plate that changes the dynamic completely for the catcher.
Ground ball to Rizzo. Chatwood covering, and the Reds get a couple before the Cubs come to bat against Matt Harvey when we return.
J.D. Power ranked us #1 in customer satisfaction. While we're honored, we don't do it for the awards. We do it for you. We have low fares on over 4,000 daily flights on average to 100 destinations, just so we're ready to go when you are. Everything we do is done with you in mind. But hey, if they want to reward us for rewarding you, we won't stop them. Putting people first. That's transparency.
Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy combines German-style Weiss beer with the taste of natural lemonade. It's as refreshing as refreshment gets. Leinenkugel's. Welcome to the Leine side.
Salads should look like this. Crisp leaves of lettuce, freshly made dressing. Clean food that looks this good. Delivered to your desk. Now delivering to home or office. Panera. Food as it should be.
My man, Mike.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Our daughter loves her new Honda, so I'm here to look at the Accord.
Excellent. The Accord LX comes standard with a turbocharged engine and our full suite of Honda sensing safety and driver assist technologies.
2018 North American Car of the Year?
Yes, the Accord was voted best in innovation, design, safety features, performance, technology, driver satisfaction, and value.
That settles it. I'll take it.
You're going to share it, right?
Come in to test drive the Honda Accord, the 2018 North American Car of the Year.
Now the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Ben Zobrist leading off. He's playing right. Jason Hayward over in center. Jason made 2 terrific plays in right field yesterday. Javier Baez batting third ahead of Anthony Rizzo. Ian Happ gets to start at third base. He's been absolutely red hot. Kyle Schwarber has been as well. Caratini getting the nod, catching and batting 7th. Russell the shortstop. Chatwood the pitcher hitting 9th.
Reds defensively, Billy Hamilton in center, about as good as they get in the major leagues. Winker left, he struggles. Schebler's in right, he's solid. Suarez Perez on the left side of the infield. Jeanette's got a tender arm, so some funky throws from him. Votto first, Barnhart really good behind the plate, and the Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher for the Reds is Matt Harvey. Apparently he did come for a haircut.
29-year-old Matt Harvey, 6'4", 215.
Been good of late. Last 3-0 with a 1.47 ERA.
1-1 on Ben Zobrist.
Overall 4-5, 4.91 the ERA. 4-3, 3.86. 10 starts with Cincinnati.
And his best stretch has come lately. Line drive, base hit to right. Leadoff man is presented by Benny's Beverage Depot, and Ben Zobrist's hit means Benny's will now donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
He's got a nice smooth pass through the zone. And he rarely goes outside of the zone.
Hayward 6 out of 14 with a home run against Harvey as he fouls back upstairs. Jason 0 for 5 yesterday, but made a big impact on defense, as I mentioned earlier.
Play for 2 in the middle. They've got Suarez, the third baseman, well off the line.
Hayward takes on Harvey today. Presented by AARP.
Yeah, he's seen him more than any other Cub, and he's been good against him. 6 out of 14. A little long one.
Harvey set. Long pause before a 1-1. Just missed the inside corner.
95-mile-an-hour fastball there from Harvey. He likes to elevate it. He'll throw it 63% of the time. He does sink it every now and then as well. Last time out, heavy slider usage. Also has a changeup and a curve that he uses every now and then. Fastball, slider mostly when hitters think about Harvey.
His last start was rain shortened. A win against Milwaukee on Sunday. He did pitch into the 6th inning.
Yeah, 5 2/3 scoreless, just a couple of hits, did not walk a man, punched out 6. He was very efficient, just 68 pitches. And there's that number. Last 3, he's won them all with a 147, including the one against the Cubs back on the 21st of June.
Decent lead by Zobrist. We'll see if he's on the move here. And Harvey thinking the same thing. Baez on deck. Reds lead 2-0, bottom 1. Zobrist does not run, and the pitch is popped up. Over in foul territory, Suarez will make the grab right in front of the Cubs dugout.
That's anguish for a hitter to pop a ball up like that and just have to watch and hope that it drifts out of play.
Second baseman Javier Baez. A hit in 4 trips, scored a run in the opener. He pops it up on the left side. Just tried to break the bat over his knee and could not. That usually hurts.
Good action on 94. Moves off the barrel in towards the label, induces weak contact.
I think he kind of let up there once the bat hit the quad.
It's a symbolic breaking of the bat. He's been going too good to have that much frustration bottled up to really let it fly.
He destroyed a water cooler the other day. Was it Carlos Gomez?
Yeah, he went absolutely ballistic on it.
The pitch to Rizzo is in there for a strike. 95 from Harvey. And a couple of strike outless streaks going. Zobrist 28 plate appearances and counting. Rizzo has the longest active to 36 plate appearances. You have to say, not too surprising for those two guys, and Rizzo gets hit by a pitch. So 2 on, 2 out for Ian Happ.
Yeah, he likes to bury his slider down and in on left-handed hitters. Backdoored occasionally, but typical breaking ball to a lefty, he's going to be moving it down and in.
12th time Anthony has been hit, and the 110th time in his career. And Ian takes wide. Ball 1. His walk rate at 16.2%. Chris Bryant still on the DL, feeling better, but likely to head out on a rehab assignment very soon as he comes back from that shoulder injury. Harvey has a sign from Barnhart. And here it comes. And Ian was late. Challenged him. And it's 2-1.
It's the high risk, high reward pitch up there for Ian. Every now and then he'll get on top of it. There's a lot of swings and misses. He strikes out a lot, but he doesn't flail. He doesn't chase that many balls. He gets beat in the zone, at the top of the zone a fair bit. Change-ups down sometimes get the best of him. Talked about that walk rate. Had he had enough plate appearances to qualify, he'd be in the top 10 in the league with that walk rate.
Comes in with a .379 on base average. I guess it's a little ironic. He began the year as the Cubs leadoff man. He hasn't done it a whole lot lately. But that's the kind of OBP you'd want in that spot. Mostly Almora and Zobrist here lately.
Yeah, and Albert doesn't take pitches, doesn't walk at all, but he's hitting for such a high average, you can justify using him in that leadoff spot.
Go time for the runners with 2 gone and a full count on the batter. And he struck him out. Top of the zone fastball. So the Cubs strand 2 after an inning. Reds 2, Cubs nothing.
Is this AT&T Innovations? Yeah, wow. This must be for one of our new unlimited wireless plans. Comes with a ton of entertainment options. Great. Can you sign for this? Yeah. Hey, what's in that one? That's a shark.
New and only with AT&T, you can get unlimited data, 30+ channels of live TV, and your choice of things like HBO or Amazon Music. More for your thing. That's our thing. Visit att.com.
This is the Ford F-150. It's got best-in-class towing, payload, and torque. The tech you need, plus the style you want in a special STX appearance package. And F-150 is Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Get your F-150 STX while supplies last. Now get an F-150 STX for $199 a month or $9,296 in total savings. Hurry while supplies last.
You wouldn't pour OJ this way. And you don't have to pour paint this way either. Try Dutch Boy Platinum Plus paint in the twist and pour container with a built-in spout. Easy to hold, open, and pour. Only at Menards. Dutch Boy paints make transforming your world easy.
It is the top of the second here at Wrigley, and it is time for a Miller Lite game report. Wanted to give you an update on Kris Bryant and Yu Darvish. Bryant was at the field earlier before the game, ended up taking hits in the cage and also fielding some ground balls at third base. The good news is he was doing some work, but the bad news is Joe Maddon said he will likely have to undergo a rehab assignment. As for Yu Darvish, he was working out in the weight room. Maddon said he liked the strength he saw out of Darvish. And guys, that brings up our poll question, Len and JD. We ask it on NBCSportsChicago.com/vote. Which injury are you more concerned about? Yu Darvish's lingering triceps injury or Kris Bryant's shoulder?
That's a good question, Layla. Thank you. As Jose Peraza takes a strike.
Oh my goodness. Talk about quality babies.
Yeah. I would lean toward the Darvish.
Yeah.
I think Kris will generally be fine. That is an injury that could linger, but he should be back fairly soon. And with Darvish, we just don't know.
It's too much mystery surrounding you right now. Yeah, we just don't know exactly when he'll be back. And we're not sure exactly what it's going to look like when he gets back here. And you know what a healthy Kris Bryant looks like.
Cubs have played good ball lately. They do have depth at third base. And the Cubs generally are pretty cautious and really making sure guys, if not 100%, pretty close to it before he's activated.
Yeah, you're playing winning baseball. You've got other pieces you can put out there. We're getting a little bit a longer look now at David Bodie. He's getting some at-bats here as we go along.
The other thing is, if there's any sort of minor setback in the next few days, the Cubs do have the All-Star break coming up that they can use for Chris as well. So hopefully it's before the break, but you just never know. 3-1 on the pitcher, Harvey.
Harvey swings here, he should get fined $1,000.
And there's your fine. As he bounces out to Russell. Did he swing at a strike?
Yeah, I think he did, but he didn't present an opportunity for Tyler to have to throw another pitch. Might have been a strike. Probably was a strike.
Hey, we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Mahaska Communications in Oskaloosa, Iowa. Hamilton on base all 4 times yesterday. 3 singles and a walk. He was picked off in the 3rd. Scored in the 5th.
That number's not great for Hamilton, but improved. Moving the ball a little bit harder, more on the line. Obviously, the Reds would prefer him to hit ground balls and line drives, keep the ball out of the air. Taking more walks than he has in the past. I can almost discount the slugging numbers when you talk about Hamilton. If the on-base number is good, he can turn reaches into doubles and triples by stealing bases.
Rizzo had to back up and makes the play unassisted as Chatwood goes 1-2-3 in the 2nd.
J.B. Pritzker removed toilets to avoid paying taxes. Now he wants to raise your taxes. Pritzker disconnected toilets, then claimed his mansion was uninhabitable, saving $230,000. Go flush yourself, J.B.
People say that I'm a rock star. They think I stay up all night.
The Hyundai Epic Summer Sales Event with select SUVs starting around $20K. This summer is going to be epic. Right now, you can lease the Tucson for just $149 a month. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
What color did you paint your room?
The moment you realize you didn't really mean any color you want.
We want you to feel great about your color choice. That's why we have a paint guarantee. If you don't love it, we'll replace it.
4th of July savings continue with $10 to $40 off select paint, primer, and stains via rebate.
Ooh, grab an umbrella, kids, because Dad's going to make it rain. Trays.
He's saying he's going to score a bunch of 3-pointers on you.
Yeah, we ball till we fall.
There are multiples on the table. One is cash, 3 are FHA, 1 is VA. So what can you do?
She's saying a whole lot of people want to buy this house. But you got this. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans makes the complex simple. Understand the details and get approved in as few as 8 minutes by America's largest mortgage lender.
Are those my shorts?
J.B. Pritzker removed toilets to avoid paying taxes. Now he wants to raise your taxes. Pritzker disconnected toilets, then claimed his mansion was uninhabitable, saving $230,000. Go flush yourself, J.B.
Hey, welcome back. The MLB.TV All-Star Sale is here for $39.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this sale.
Great big crowd on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. July the 7th. Middletown, Ohio native Kyle Schwarber takes outside from Mr. Harvey. 2-0 Reds, 2nd inning.
You were talking walk rate. Kyle's 16.7, 4th best among National League qualifiers.
1-1.
Harper Carlos Santana, Joey Votto just ahead of Kyle.
7-game home hitting streak, 391. In the stretch, bouncer foul to first.
On base plus slugging, 876, tops on the club, 12th in the league.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Boy, that elevated heat has been good for Harvey early on. Hey, starting today, the Cubs' wives are selling these great baskets filled with favorite items from Cubs players. They're going to be sold in the concourse near the Gallagher Way Western Gate. From the time the gates open through the 7th inning, as well as online. The online basket auction launches tomorrow and will end a week from tomorrow, Sunday, July 15th. To place an online bid, it's Cubs.com/authentics. Proceeds will benefit Cubs charities and supporting the wives' Totes for Teachers school supply initiative to deliver supplies to Chicago teachers. Good stuff. We had an idea, and I think at some point it will come to fruition. It's off the leg of Harvey, and literally a hit for Caratini. Infield single.
Yeah, Harvey finishes a little bit turned towards first base, a little cattywampus, not in good fielding position, and it's a good pitch. Down and away, he got his ground ball, but not in position to make a play for him, and maybe more importantly, not able to get out of the way of it. Had he been able to do that, somebody behind him might have been able to make the play, but it's a knock for Caratini.
Addison Russell batting 8th today. Toronto will hold Caratini. Russell shows bunt, takes a strike. I was thinking maybe at some point to help out Cubs charities, you and I could do one of my favorite things basket.
Sure.
I'm sure there's some fans out there who have your sense of quirky taste, and mine too. I'm no less quirky.
So these baskets that the wives are auctioning off, they're not like player memorabilia or things like that. It's just,
I would say it's a combination.
Food,
we can do it
movies,
however we want, but I was thinking, yeah, some of the things you enjoy, so some products, maybe some tickets to an event that you might attend. And I would say if you've got some interesting memorabilia that you could toss in there, I think that would be appropriate. I've got a few things that might be fun.
what we should do is when we have all these people come up here to sing the stretch, we should get like a photo album of all those people and have them sign it when they come up here and have them autograph it, and then we'll auction that off for charity.
We could, yeah. So maybe think about some of those things you'd want in that basket.
I would say Vienna sausages would be in there.
Well, I'm thinking more of the non-perishable. Russell fouls away. How about some fresh raspberries?
Fresh raspberries. Season 4
Gallon
DVD of Seinfeld
milk
or something. Hair. I'd like to have hair. Could I put some hair in there?
Okay. Maybe this isn't a great idea.
Put a toupee in there.
There's a 1-2 pitch. Ground ball through. Caratini nearly got hit. And if he had been hit, he would have been out.
Addy doing his thing. Boy, it's been fun to watch him work here for an extended period. Really shooting the ball hard the other way, and it's paying big-time dividends. You're not going to hit a lot of home runs with this approach, but the average and the on-base numbers will go up.
Quite sure what the holdup is, but right now a lot of standing around. Well, Chatwood and Butterfield will.
Maybe the Reds were contemplating that perhaps that ball brushed Caratini on the way by. We're thinking about issuing a challenge.
Yeah, that might explain why Harvey was loitering. So here is Chatwood.
Yeah, no Scooter's net. They're calling everybody into the infield. So this will count as a mound visit. They want to talk strategy on a bunt here. I don't know what Scooter's baseball IQ is. I assume it's pretty high. I think sometimes when managers sit in the dugout and they watch an infielder run into the mound to kind of call a conversation like that, they go, uh-oh.
So we'll see what they have up their sleeve. We'll see what Chatwood wants to do. Looks like he wants to bunt. But maybe not. Nope. Takes a strike.
Tyler's a good athlete, handles the bat well. If you're not bunting there, if they're going to give you one, that's one you probably ought to take a whack at. The Reds are in an aggressive mindset here defending this potential bunt because Caratini at second base does not have speed. If you've got a fleet-footed runner out there, hey, let's just play conservatively, make sure we get an out. And a slow runner, try to tighten him up, be aggressive, and try to get the out at third base.
Popped into right field. And it's caught by Schebler.
NBC Sports Chicago is looking for the biggest Cub fans to appoint as the next Cubs authentic fan of the game, as someone who supports the team through thick and thin. Do you have what it takes? Enter at NBCSportsChicago.com/CubsAF.
And here's Zobrist with 2 outs. Takes the pitch inside. That is a strike. Well located 95 on the fastball. That ball that Russell hit that almost hit Caratini, without getting into the actual rule book, the idea is that that play is called dead because it hinders an infielder from making a play. And while I think Votto was in front of Caratini, I still think he would have been called out because Jeanette was on that side of the field and was behind him. But if you had like the drawn in infield and the runner gets hit after the ball passes the infielders, I don't believe that's the same call.
Correct. It's a play on.
Right. 3-1 on Zobrist. Here's the pitch. He popped it up, but it'll get back out of play. And if we do have a rules question, we can go to an expert right next door, our buddy Chris Welsh, who runs a great website. I think it's Baseball Rules Academy, and sends out
right,
videos.
Yeah.
There's Chris on the left, former big league pitcher, working with Jim Day, and yeah, he's got a mailing list, and he'll send out a rule of the week. And he has recruited Ted Barrett, and they go over some of the quirkier rules in the game. Good stuff.
And it's timely, too. He'll pick up on a controversial play the previous week in Major League Baseball, and they'll highlight that.
3-2 bounced foul. Always good to have a refresher course on obstruction. And I think this week's rule was about when a pitcher drops the ball on the mound. And with nobody on base, it's no big deal. But if you're standing on the rubber and you drop the ball, it's a balk with runners on base.
Which is a terrible rule, but it is the rule.
Right. Runners go again, and Zobrist out in front. That is out in left center, and they're taking up almost an entire section. I'm guessing they're together. But that's
Maybe
not
it's a
randomly
big family
done.
reunion. This little group of outcasts, they missed the bus.
Good battle here between Harvey and Zobrist.
He is such a tough finish. One of, well, let me look here. I'll tell you exactly how many. 9 major league players with enough at-bats to qualify who have walked more than they have struck out. Hendrickson Simmons leads the way. That guy, I think he struck out 15 times all year. He doesn't walk a lot, but he almost never strikes out.
Swing and a miss. Cubs have stranded 4 through 2 and trail 2-0.
Why turn a meal into a snack when you can turn a snack into a meal? A 3-cheese blend pico de gallo, double the marinated steak, and a medium drink.
At least they're cute.
Taco Bell's new $5 steak nachos box. It's kind of a big meal.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. I'm attorney Howard Aiken with Cubs great Javi Baez.
When you love what you do, it shows.
And that's how I feel as a personal injury and workers' compensation attorney.
Getting advice from an abogado who cares.
Call 312-6-million. Injury law made personal. That's Aiken Law.
And here we go, folks.
It's your favorite hot dog bun, mustard, and overpriced watered-down beer.
Are you sure you want to eat all that? Because you already weigh more than your team's batting average.
Let's just toast to our anniversary. Oh no, it's corked.
Let's just watch the game. I tweeted all of your friends to come over, but I guess no one showed up.
That's okay. I invited one of your friends too.
It's out of here.
Give a real anniversary gift this year. Escape to the Champagne Lodge in Willowbrook. Book your next special memory at the Champagne Lodge today. You know you deserve it.
Carspitality, the friendly and convenient services offered to guests at the Bill Jacobs Auto Group. With amenities like a complimentary vehicle inspection with every service visit on our active reception rack, or our white glove concierge service where we'll pick up and deliver your vehicle to your home or office and leave you a courtesy loaner. We use market-based pricing on our vehicles to save you time and money. Carspitality. See the Bill Jacobs Auto Group. The cars bring you in, the experience brings you back. In Naperville and Hinsdale.
2-0. Reds lead the Cubs as we get into the third inning. 2 runs scoring on wild pitches from Tyler Chatwood in the first inning. Doug Glanville is with us once again today. How you doing, Doug?
I'm doing great. I was debating on the shades, but I'm going to go new shades right now.
Yeah, it is a gorgeous day.
It's really nice. Beautiful.
So you were talking a base stealing with Theo before the game.
Yeah, I had a chance to. I mean, I appreciate discussing this whole concept of the reduction of the stolen base. It's changed a lot now, and the factors you always think about, the analytics saying it's much more of a low percentage plays in a lot of scenarios. You use terms like run environment, the right time to run. And that's changed a lot more with the information and the way they've found to neutralize the running game more often. For example, mentioning instant replay. And instant replays played such a role. I think of my day when I stole, I would pop up early sometimes and then reach for the base because all you had to do was convince the umpire. Now you have the technology where it's much bigger than that. Now you have to actually, you have the data to refute if you weren't there or you came off by an inch. And so the infielders are taught now to hold those tags on there. And so now you think about it, like not only do you have to be safe, you have to maintain control of the base.
Wanted by Schebler foul.
So less and less we see the stolen base attempt. Even guys like Billy Hamilton were talking earlier, 16 steals. I mean, that sounds like a lot, but that's, when you have the days of Vince Coleman or guys running, 100 stolen base attempts, all you had to be is fast. Are you fast? Okay, you need to run. You don't have to factor in all these weights that you were weighing, which sort of made you more conservative with it. So it's just become a low percentage play.
1-2 pitch.
Yeah, foul. And the other piece of it too, the analytics have shown that the value of outs are so precious that if you're not successful a high percentage of the time, it becomes a losing play. So even if you look back in the history of the game at some of the really good base stealers, what we thought were really good base stealers because they accumulated a lot of stolen bases, they got caught a fair bit too. And for some of those guys, if you apply the modern math, the modern thinking to it, he wasn't a very efficient base stealer.
Yeah, and you're speaking to the when, right? It's the timing of it and when you're electing to steal. Even environmental, you saw yesterday the wind blowing in. It's like, well, you're not hitting a home run, so now you have to think in a manufacturing mode.
2-2 fouled. And along those lines, your clubs under Larry Boa, you guys were probably as good as anybody in recent memory. You, Utley, Worth, I mean, you guys were always like in the 80%.
Yeah.
So if you're in that area, it's a good play.
Absolutely, and you have to learn to find those moments and pick your spots. And I had to learn that very quickly.
Line shot. Schwarber will leave his feet and make the play.
Yeah, Schwarber has done such a nice job out there. He's getting good reads off the bat. Didn't hesitate, just came right in and understood exactly. And watch how he's lowering his body. It's staying in control and getting in position to be behind the ball. He's not stabbing at it, he's not reaching of it. And that's a sign of understanding, like, I can make the play, and if anything happens, I'm prepared for it to go. If it goes by me or if it hits me, I'm still blocking the ball. So he's improved tremendously over this course of the season.
1-0 on Barnhart. Doug, did you have Davey Lopes?
No, I know I came across him in different places, Philly maybe, but
it might have been after you and Philly. His teams always seem to have very high percentages in terms of stolen bases. A lot of good base running guys in the game. Who did you work with who had the biggest impact on your running game?
Well, I got to mention an old Cub. Let's see, I don't know if you guys recall Jay Laviglio. He was our coach in minor league. He was a roving base running instructor. And I think that year in A-ball, I stole over 30 bases. And he, with Sandy Alomar Sr., talked about reading the scoreboard, knowing the situation and the time to run. It wasn't just sort of run, run, run. You had to think about, okay, what am I trading off here? So that was a real helpful boost for me.
I was chatting with Jason Hayward the other day. He's 0 for 1. In stolen bases, and he said there are a few reasons for it. He said, number one, it's where I've hit in the lineup. He was near the bottom of the order, so near the pitcher's spot, and now he's batting second ahead of the run producers, so you don't want to make outs there. As Rizzo has it, Chatwood at the bag, 2 outs. And I think the other thing just goes back to all the information. Pitchers quick to the plate, catchers quick to second, and if you know those times, JD,
yeah,
teams
so a
just
lot
say
of times
we're not going to do it.
Yeah, if the combination is 3 seconds, pitcher to catcher to second base. That's why the first base coaches have got stopwatches, and if the numbers aren't right, you just we're not going to go, and until we're in a desperate situation where maybe it's worth a shot.
Yeah, that's the evolution. In my time, you started seeing those slide steps, really quick to home. And that was a big revolution. We were like, you can't get a jump off a guy who's 1.1 seconds to home. You just, unless your catcher is really slow. So that started. And then now, as you mentioned, instant replay, all these things started to chip away as defenses learned how to neutralize the stolen base.
Yeah, and a lot of it was in reaction to, you mentioned Vince Coleman earlier. Coleman, Henderson, all those guys in the 80s Because when I came up, when I was coming through the minor leagues, we didn't slide step. We didn't do, that wasn't.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, Coleman's stealing 100 bases, and everybody around the game said, all right, we got to try to find a way to defend this.
Absolutely. And
on Votto.
We also had AstroTurf. I mean, I was like, when I got traded to the Phillies, I was like, oh my goodness, this stuff is so fast. So and that's pretty much all gone, right? So it's a different day, and the slower base pass on top of that.
We've probably lost speed in general too, in terms of the profile of the modern hitter. We've stressed more power, more patience, and not necessarily speed fitting into that equation. So when you have guys who run like Billy Hamilton, man, they're a rarity as Votto takes the walk.
And that speed has become much more, how does it play in other parts of the game, right? Defense or going first to third, or that's where you grab your 90th extra feet, right? You respect 90 in so many other ways besides like me individually saying, okay, I'm going to steal right here. But, when you go beyond those numbers, and I certainly have a great respect for the analytics, you always ask that question, what do you lose? You lose like Dave Roberts stealing, in the Red Sox, Yankee series. You lose. Sometimes there's just moments that it may not be a high percentage play per se, but the pressure that it puts on the defense, all these elements matter.
Bunted, that ball came back up and hit the bat, so it'll be a foul ball off the bat of Jeanette. Hey, a reminder, you can follow all our Cubs insiders, including Doug, on NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side. 2-0 Reds. And at first, 2 outs, top of the third.
Look at this bunt as he goes down. He's leaving the box. He's kind of, see how he's pulling his body with him, trying to get that head start. And ended up just sort of double tapping it, but he was in the box, so he's okay.
Not a big lead by Votto. And a ground ball toward the middle. Baez ranging, and he tried to go glove to glove, and Russell couldn't get it. It'll be an infield hit for Jeanette. He's 2 for 2.
I don't want to sit in Harvey's direction, just assume the play is going to be made. It would have been a sweetheart, a little backhand flip, and that's always the danger of that play, that you get a little too much of it, so to speak, and flip it too high. Russell goes up to try to bail him out, can't get it.
Yeah, he just ended up kind of staying in his glove a little bit too long on the toss and just missed it.
He may have been able to get that into his throwing hand and shovel it over with his bare hand. It would have been close either way.
And the dangerous Suarez. Doug, did you ever get tempted to switch hit when you were a young baseball player? Did anyone ever say to you, because you run well, to think about it?
Yeah, no doubt. My brother switch hit, and he still does at age 55. I did. I switched it a little bit. I had like 4 at bats one summer league just to test it out. And in wiffle ball, I was a wiffle ball guy growing up, so I learned all the stances and everybody, and I hit lefty, and I even threw lefty with wiffle ball pretty much all the time. I tried to be exactly like who I was imitating, Steve Carlton or any of the lefties. So I was decent, but yeah, I kind of shut it down after I was 13 or 14.
2 strikes to Suarez. He held. It's Trip Gibson at first base.
Let's hear it. Ooh, very close.
Yeah,
very
flip a coin.
That's a
he's into the self-check too.
Yeah, he's like, hey, go ahead, you check. It's a good strategy. Reverse psychology.
All is happening with 2 outs. The walk to Votto, the infield hit by Jeanette. Just missed.
I want to know where your brother's still playing that. He's 55 and he's switch hitting. That's what's got me intrigued.
Everywhere. There's a tournament every year, Florida, Arizona.
Nice.
He's nonstop.
I've got a buddy that plays out in Arizona. Maybe they cross paths.
And the thing that's amazing about my brother is he kept all his stats, like since 13 or something. So I think he stole a base and raised the base over his head like Ricky Henderson.
That's great.
In a summer league, and they're like, "What is this guy doing?" He's like, "Oh, that's like 600 stolen base." And they're like, "Okay." Like, what?
That's awesome.
Runners go 3-2, fouled straight back.
And I imagine he let you know that you did not steal 600 bases in your career.
Not even close. But I was of the era of high percentage, high success rate.
There you go. Bring it full circle.
Well, I remember stealing here in Joe, my rookie year, and Joe West was at second. He made the call and he said, "Who are you?"
That's your big league moment. Joe West saying, "Who are you?"
Like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" He's like, I have no idea, actually.
Chatwood trying to put away Suarez. Two on, two down, third inning. And we will relive a fun moment from 25 years ago today in the bottom of the inning. Schwarber back, and it is gone. A home run. That is a dagger. A 3-run shot for Suarez, and it's 5-0. And that slight direction change of the wind today, JD, is everything.
Yeah,
yesterday that probably doesn't get out.
Yeah, absolutely does not get out yesterday. I'm not sure it helped it a whole lot here today, but it certainly didn't get in its way at all. Suarez hits his 18th home run. It looked like a cutter that backed up. A little cement mixer, stays on the inner part of the plate. And watch him pull the hands in and get extended through. So 2 out, nobody on. Walk, infield single. On a play that, possibly could have been made, and then the long ball from Suarez.
Bounced wide of first. It's foul. So Suarez has the NL lead with 66 RBIs. The last Red to lead the league in RBIs was Dave Parker in 1985. And Suarez has come up with some big hits against the Cubs. And typically they're home runs. That's his 18th.
And the 2 runs coming home in the first inning on bounced curveballs. Earlier in the inning, in the first inning, he had thrown some really good curveballs. I'm not sure he's thrown one since those wild pitches. Perhaps he has, but you can understand him being hesitant to throw that pitch. But that just makes life that much easier for the Reds hitters if they can just eliminate that pitch.
Were there guys like him, Doug, where you would eliminate a pitch, and even if you strike out or you get called out on strikes, it's okay because I feel like you've honed in a little bit? Oh, I'll have you answer that in the bottom of the inning. Nice play by Russell. Hey, 25 years ago, Tom Browning, your buddy JD, got fined by his team for doing that. More on this when we come back.
What's with the whispering?
I'm going for the soft cell. Lease the 2018 Soul Base for $179 a month.
Robert, I'm your only friend. It's great you're helping all these random people.
Hey, I'm the Lyft driver. What you did to that young girl.
But it's not going to fill that hole inside of you.
Robert, it's Susan. She's gone. The man who killed Susan. They're with the agency. Family. It's a mistake to go to war with these guys. They killed my friend.
It's go time.
So I'm going to kill each and every one of them. And the only disappointment, that I only get to do it once. Come on.
The Equalizer 2.
His is the oldest registered distillery in the United States. Perfect for making Tennessee whiskey. Charcoal mellowed drop by drop for smooth sipping. Which is not the easy way, but it's his way.
Bruce Rauner owns 9 homes, and he's appealed his property taxes 22 times. But now he's attacking someone else for the same thing? Now that's bad. But you know what's worse? Bruce Rauner wants to raise your property taxes. That's right. Rauner's budget costs property taxpayers more than $1 billion. Lawmakers from both parties criticize the idea, calling it the largest property tax hike in Illinois history. Bruce Rauner, 4 years of failure is enough.
When you're America's best value, you don't need to shout. What's with the whispering? I'm going for the soft cell.
Lease the 2018 Soul base for $179 a month.
Our high-speed action is powered by Xfinity. It was on this date in 1993, 25 years ago today. The quirky left-hander Tom Browning decided to take a trip across Sheffield and hang out on a rooftop. It makes me a little queasy, though, that he's sitting on the ledge there and had fun with it.
A little wobbly there, yeah. I promise you that's about the 10th craziest thing he's done in his life.
I was going to ask you if you know why he did it, and he did get fined, right?
Yeah, Davey Johnson was the manager. I think he got fined $500 maybe. He did it because that's why not?
He did it because it was there.
It was there. It was like, I think any number of us back in the day kind of looked at, hey, that'd be fun to go out there and hang out. Tom had the chutzpah to go ahead and leave the dugout, sneak out, wander across the street, and climb up and take a seat.
So they've got a big group up there from the Reds Hall of Fame, and pretty neat that he's here to celebrate.
Yeah, they all rode up together on a bus from Cincinnati today.
It is funny, Doug, how the little things that just kind of feel like they won't be memorable actually are the things we remember the most. That little maneuver by Tom Browning is something people still talk about today.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a long season. You're trying to break it up, and you just do things to keep yourselves loose. And I think that is one of the things, that helps all the players. Like, okay, we can enjoy this. This is a lot. And you're at Wrigley Field. I mean, you want to sit up there by the rooftop. You want to take it all in, and not just business as usual when you're going to these amazing cathedrals of the game. So every once in a while, you just, it's like going Fenway and going into the Green Monster. All these things.
Votto surrounds it, and we'll get it to Harvey. It was maybe 2009 or 10. I'm doing my pregame prep in the booth, and in uniform, Carlos Zambrano came up. And he said, "Hey, Len, I just wanted to see where they sing the stretch," and I thought it was really cool. And the three of us have discussed the idea of players get this tunnel vision, but when you play at Wrigley Field. And if you're a Cub for 11 years and you've never gone up in the scoreboard, shame on you. You should. That's the fun of it.
Absolutely.
5 hours before a game, they'd love to have you up there. And I know a few players have done it, but yeah, just take a look at your world from a different vantage point.
Yeah, and then when you get older in the game and you start to know that your time is running out, you start to really think about that.
Baez smacks one into center. So I want to follow up on the eliminating a pitch against a particular pitcher. Doug, is that pretty common? I know you like to swing at a pitch that was in the zone, but did you think about it that way sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in part, sometimes it was about a pitch that you didn't necessarily handle well. You always have to remember that basic concept of 3 strikes. Am I going to really try to hit, someone Darryl Kyle's curveball and an 0-0 count? You want to wait until the last possible moment to chase his best pitch or his sort of put-away pitch.
Rizzo pops it up. And Votto and Barnhart will not have a play.
So there was always guys you knew that they had that specialty pitch, a splitter or something, a big curveball. And that pitch was as effective chasing out of the zone as it was working in the zone. And you had to start to identify that, okay, this guy throws this a lot just for the chase, especially in runners in scoring position. And so that's where your sort of elimination game starts to happen. And I know I wasn't a great curveball hitter, so I didn't want to be up there on a 2-0 count chasing a curveball. I wanted to wait until I absolutely had no choice to really try to do something with that.
Rizzo pushes a bunt down the third base line, and very quickly Harvey pounced on it, and a smart thing to do because it might have come back into fair territory.
And this is nice. I mean, I'm very impressed how the Cubs, look at that hug. I mean, wow, there's like just out. I'm very impressed with how a lot of the big hitters who you associate big hitters like Rizzo, Schwarber, they'll bunt. And you don't just do it. You have to work at that. You have to employ it in practice. And there is a commitment. There's a commitment to understanding, like, look at these shift numbers. Look at the number. 80% of the balls on the right side of the field, soft liners or ground balls. So there's a whole opportunity over there. And reading the situation, a lot of these guys are willing to give themselves up for that base hit.
StatCast powered by AWS.
Yeah, there's still, there's a debate. You can talk to any number of people around the game with a guy like Anthony with his skill set, with his power. Some would say, we don't want you bunting. We want you trying to hit the ball over the wall. The counter argument, of course, is, well, we're down 5 runs. We need base runners. I got guys behind me who are capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark. And the other piece of it, too, is trying to influence the way teams defend you. If you get that bunt down every now and then, they might start to respect it.
Hamilton really battling the elements, and he makes the catch. Well, you can dissect that maneuver out there as he kind of turned to the side. Doug,
yeah,
what's he doing?
I'm a big proponent of that, because what you're trying to do is, with the backdrop of the ball, you don't want that to be the sun. So you're trying to field it where you're facing and pointing a direction where the sun is not located. And so what that does is takes away the sun from your direct view, so the ball's not staying right in that disc. And eventually it comes out. So with the angle, you have much more of an opportunity the last, say, 15 feet, where the ball will come out of that disc and you play off of a clean backdrop. So that's what playing off to the side is.
Here's Happ when he takes outside for ball 1.
If you're ever driving down the highway or in the sun, you try to put your visor down, but when you're directly in line with it, you can't see anything. So just having that slight angle gives you a little bit of a window of visibility.
Happ fouls out of play. I do feel obligated to follow up on your Tom Browning quote. Is there anything on a family broadcast you can tell us crazier than the rooftop visit, JD?
It's not the one I have in mind is just kind of gross. So
well,
no.
We should probably stay away from it then.
He's a beauty.
1-1. Ground ball. Jeanette in the grass will make the play. Happ hustling all the way, but he is out, and so are the Cubs in the 3rd. More with Doug a little later. 5-0 Reds.
We average 4,000 daily flights and 100 destinations, but they all go to the same place, somewhere you love. Low fares and no hidden fees to your favorite places. That's transparency. At Southwest, we put people first. From fares to fee policies to our rewards program. And somehow putting you first made us first. I guess that makes us both number 1. Low fares, great service, that's transparency.
The 4th of July sale at Mattress Firm has been extended. Get a free adjustable base with your mattress purchase. Up to a $699 value, free. Plus, all beds are on sale. Hurry in, this deal ends Tuesday. Your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm.
When I'm watching the big game at home, I love making popcorn. Try my sesame glazed pistachio popcorn with your favorite cocktail. This cooking tip brought to you by Binny's Beverage Depot, the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs.
Toyota's Star Spangled Sales Event is here. Enjoy patriotic deals right now on your favorite Toyota models. Choose from the adventurous RAV4, the bold Camry, the family-friendly Highlander, the rugged Tacoma, and the fun Corolla. Don't wait. The Star Spangled Sales Event won't be around forever, and neither will his exceptional deals. Get incredible cash savings on 17 of your favorite Toyota models, like up to $2,000